All right.
All right.
Living the
Everybody else
dream.
did it.
Whoa, oh my gosh, my mic is moving.
Technical difficulties.
It's all because of what we're about to talk about.
That got us. All right, so greetings, everybody. It's good to be back. Hopefully, you guys have caught some of our crazy promos we put out there. And we got a bunch more coming. You better believe that.
Yeah, we got a lot of them.
You better believe that. So, I guess how you guys been doing?
Go ahead.
Trying to stay warm.
That's
Trying to stay warm.
It is definitely freezing. They said today is Thursday, so the weather guy said that Sunday is supposed to be like 4 degrees.
Yep.
Bro, we're this is South Georgia. We're not ready for 4 degrees.
And then Saturday's
ready.
like 22 sustained gusts or 22 sustained winds with like 36 to 40 mile an hour gusts.
So if you got any time to fly a kite, it's Saturday.
Absolutely.
I think what I'm gonna do, y'all know there's little hot hands you can get.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna buy like 10 cartons of them and just stuff them all over. I'm gonna have a whole suit of hot hands.
There you go.
I just need y'all to come by, like just shake me one time so it activates all at the same time. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So I guess this episode, in case you guys didn't catch on from the last promo, the promo, yeah, promo me.
Get it out, Julia.
Yeah, from the promo is I guess we're gonna call it Spaceships and Aliens and Demons. Oh my!
All right.
So we're gonna kind of dive into the idea and concept of aliens out there because it's a hot topic right now. The government's kind of admitting that all those crackpot conspiracy theorists out there might have been onto something. So we're gonna kind of touch on that. What do you guys think about that topic? What do y'all think?
Well, first off, let's just go ahead and put this out there. Everything that we talk about on these doesn't mean that we believe in it.
That does not mean that we really have tinfoil hats at the house.
I know,
Josh,
but we might.
We don't.
Yeah, there's some of them. There is some of them that we might. There's some of them that we don't agree with.
right.
We just presenting facts and presenting, the stories and all that kind of stuff, just to kind of go down that rabbit trail a little bit.
And also to show that maybe not necessarily, we may not believe it to the extent that this 8-foot tall, green, slender, slimy guy is going to show up in a spaceship and zap us off. But
we don't believe that?
Okay.
I mean, secretly.
Maybe the extent of something other than what we see every day on the television and news is still out there.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of what we are hoping that, what you hear will at least just pique your interest to go look into some of this stuff and look at it with spiritual eyes.
Oh, yeah.
That is the key.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we kind of forget in this physical world with all the trappings of it that we really are surrounded by the spiritual realm.
That's
Absolutely.
The unseen realm.
And it's real.
There's a lot of stuff happening. And occasionally, I mean, we've covered it in past episodes, occasionally the spirit and the physical touch.
Intersect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Things happen sometimes. So, maybe some of these accounts where people think they see aliens or spaceships or something like that, maybe that's actually one of those instances. Right there.
And I believe, obviously there are people or things that can
them stranger things
can walk through that wall of be in the spiritual realm, but also be evident in the spiritual realm, and
That's right.
Or physical realm to spiritual realm and back and forth. And so, again, it's definitely something to consider. Don't turn us off too quick because we're sounding crazy and we're talking about aliens. Just
we gonna sound a little
listen
crazy.
in because it gets good.
Everything we heard, we've gotten from Prison Mike.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If y'all have any complaints or anything, y'all send it to him. Care of the wastebasket.
I don't know if that's going to help our point here, but
That's right.
We heard it all from a rabbit.
That's right. So I guess what we can do, guys, is just go ahead and look at the first clip. We want to introduce kind of, what we're talking about, and you guys can know exactly what we're talking about too, and then we're going to talk about it on the other side of the clip. Roll that beautiful video footage.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. Oh, going like this. The wind's 120 knots to the west. Take care.
Oh, that's a weather balloon.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah, these trained Air Force pilots are.
That's that kite.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's old Ben Franklin's.
This is called the Tic Tac video out there in UFO world. That dude was happy he captured it.
Police say juveniles were also setting off fireworks, causing chaos.
So now people are posting online saying that police weren't there to handle a group of rowdy teens, but rather 8 to 10 feet tall, shadowy aliens.
That's some slimy dudes you was talking about.
Yep.
Are saying a big creature.
I mean, there is something moving right there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
That ain't shadows.
No,
Bigfoot.
it is Bigfoot.
And aliens of Miami have been among the top 10 searches on Twitter's trending tab. Twitter, of course, now called X. And Google News even has several reports questioning the events.
I mean, you know you made it big when you're on CBS
It's
News.
almost midnight on May 1st when a Las Vegas Metro police officer's body cam catches
Oh.
this. Something flashing low in the
That's
sky.
not a drone.
Emergency.
Minutes later.
Oh, that's a comet.
There's like an Asian person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
That's a cop saying that?
No, that was one of the witnesses.
Calling into the dispatch.
But the cop actually did.
Caught it with his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And he actually had called in because I like dug into this thing too. He called in to dispatch and was like, "Hey, you never believe what I just saw, y'all." You know? So they kind of, coincided the two together with this family who apparently this thing fell in their backyard, and from what they say, like 2 or 3 10-foot tall
Beings came up.
reptilian lizard people or some jumped out, and so they were freaking out, and then the cops on this other stop that they were on the other side of the city were filming this interaction they had with somebody else, and they caught the thing like right before it supposedly
Yeah,
landed
falling.
on camera. So they put all that together and they're like, So these guys said something landed in their backyard and they seen these giant alien things. And then, like, if you go watch all this, the guys that said they seen it, they were like, we could look at it, but then it was hard to see. Like our vision kept, it made their eyeballs were slipping off of it, if that makes sense.
Wow.
They were trying to look at it and their eyes, boom, like kept averting. So it really freaked them out. And then by the time the cops showed up an hour later, the things were not there
Gone, of
anymore.
course, yeah.
But that's pretty crazy. So what do y'all think about that right there?
Well, I mean, it's even like I remember the Miami incident. I remember that because I remember watching it. It was on New Year's, if I remember correctly. And
Not too long ago.
No,
like
it was
2,
like
3
2
years
years ago,
Yeah.
I think. But I remember watching that, and I'm sitting here like, man, this thing is crazy. Like,
It is.
and their explanation of it was the kids were setting off fireworks and everything else.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, for
Totally.
that, I could see maybe 4 or 5 cop cars. And then when you see this
Dude, they had
video,
a helicopter out
and
there,
like, bro, there is at least 30
Yeah.
cop cars down this
Yeah.
thing. There is helicopters everywhere. They are completely they are clearing out the mall, clearing out the streets. That's not over fireworks. I don't care what anybody says. That
man.
ain't over fireworks.
No.
So it was. I do remember all that kind of stuff, and then I do remember seeing all these videos pop up on Facebook and everything else about they're shooting these like far away scenes, pretty much of they're seeing these tall figures walking around, and there was 1 or 2 or 3, and then they started doing interviews with people. And they were even saying there was 3 figures. They just appeared out of nowhere. Like we were in the middle of this Foot Locker, and all of a sudden these 3 figures just show up, and they're like 8 to 10 foot tall, and they're walking around. I ain't gonna lie, like all that, I was sitting there like, yep, okay, that make okay, yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad I don't live in Miami. So.
To kind of get a little deeper into the Miami one at the mall, I remember the same stuff you remember whenever it happened. And I remember at that same time, the folks were like, these things appeared out of nowhere. Well, then these other guys, these internet sleuths,
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
they actually went, looking in a whole other direction at another conspiracy. And they found out that at the same time, I mean, like down to the minute, that this was happening in Miami, over in Geneva.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys know about Geneva, it's pretty weird. But over in Geneva, there's this big, gigantic particle collider. It's called the Hadron Particle Collider.
It's the CERN Hadron Collider.
That's right. So CERN is over there, and at the time that the stuff was happening in Miami, apparently, according to these internet sleuths, CERN was like malfunctioning.
Yeah.
There was something going on where they had, programmed the particles to collide, and some kind of trajectory was off slightly there, and it kind of caused a panic at CERN while this stuff was happening over in Miami.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird. I can tell you guys this. I don't know the truth. I don't know how much of Prison Mike's stories I buy into. At the same time, I'm transparent enough to admit that I don't know everything except this. I know that them folks that run stuff are not telling us everything.
No, absolutely.
And that like enables conspiracy to be born. If you don't tell me, but you're hiding, hey, come on.
One of the other things that I do remember about all this is the CERN collider was something that was going on, and they said if you put the coordinates in of Miami, but if you put them in backwards, it's actually Antarctica. It's almost the dead center of Antarctica. And, of course, that's jumping into another rabbit hole because of this whole ice wall and all sorts of kind of stuff.
We're going to definitely have to do a rabbit hole on Antarctica all by itself.
But see, it's fascinating to just sit back and think that, man, what if? What if this is legit? What if there is something legitimate about this?
Yep.
But at the same time, it's also kind of like, it's kind of out there a little bit.
It is.
Because that's a lot of dots you got to connect. But at the same time, which I know what you're about to get into, the people at CERN ain't exactly Christian folks. You know what I'm saying? They ain't the ones that you want to go eat Sunday dinner with, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
since you mentioned that, I was thinking about this in our society and pretty much across the world, other than a couple of countries that are theocratic countries.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Muslim countries where their whole government is set up on, worshiping Allah and all that good stuff. However, the majority of Western cultures and countries, we have, especially in the United States, a separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Now, originally, if you go and study all that was actually to protect the church from
the state.
The government, from the state, trying
and now
to
it's
do whatever.
flip-flopped.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, church has gotten pushed all the way out of any kind of government. But here's what's crazy no one ever thinks about. Although Christianity is pushed out of there, religion is not.
That's right.
Because you can look at a lot of these. You can look at CERN. CERN is funded not just by our government. CERN is funded by a bunch of governments across the world.
Almost the world, yeah.
And yet they're connected with some crazy religious stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We got a clip.
Heck yeah.
You don't see the clip?
I'm ready.
Let's look at the clip.
Weird stuff. Let's see this clip of CERN.
Some sort of voluntary human sacrifice happens. These three men climb up into the tunnel and hang themselves until they're dead.
That's the opening ceremony.
Yeah, opening ceremony is the same.
Being hurled down the tunnel as these giant demonic hands grab at them. Did I mention too that the music is really setting the tone for all this as well? It just kind of blew me away how organized all this was.
These are scientists, y'all.
Three men who sacrifice themselves turn into three spirits and float above the scene with an all-seeing eye. And a group of followers underneath who grab their long horns and start playing. And right after this, Satan returns. And at this point, it kind of makes sense why the first half of this performance was inside. It could have been a metaphor for Satan leaving his world and entering ours.
Wait, these are scientists.
For real.
Yeah.
These are guys that the world is funding, first off, this crazy stuff. And also, these are the same guys that if you were to mention Christ to them, hey, do you know our Lord and Savior? They're going to get mad as heck.
Yeah. They're fist fight ready.
But they're up there doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And by the way, y'all see that image on the right? On the right?
Mm-hmm. Y'all know who that is?
Come on, tell us, Ryan. Tell us about that.
Listen now. There was an old movie called Indiana Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And what was it they said all the time? We said it last week.
Hum num Shaddai.
Hum num Shaddai.
Yeah.
This is her. This is that goddess.
That's right.
She had multiple arms, all that kind of stuff. If I remember correctly, ain't she Hindu?
Yes, this is the Hindu goddess of destruction. Well, this actually is the male version
Of that.
that. Because this god is also it's what's the right word? The political correct. I don't care about political correctness.
Yeah.
This god transforms from male to female, and so it has a male aspect and then a counterpart female aspect. So in the male aspect is Shiva.
Yeah.
And so he's the god of creation and destruction. In the female aspect, it also hit on it in Indiana Jones Temple Doom,
right.
Kali. And so you have Shiva and Kali. That's this goddess right here, goddess right here, which is weird too. That's a whole nother rabbit trail right there.
Yeah.
The intersection of the god and goddess flip-flopping between each other.
But ain't it funny that this is sitting right outside of CERN?
This is right outside of CERN.
Why would they have the goddess of destruction or the god of destruction sitting outside their front doors? It makes no sense.
It ain't, to me. It does. You're right. But again, it's the enemy is at a place and time where he doesn't have to hide. He doesn't have to sneak at, because I mean we've got statues that we put on our dollar bills, and we've got statues that we pay lots of money to go visit landmarks
on our dollar bills.
And
so,
not to get political, but there's a couple states that have the Baal sitting inside of their government buildings.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's like, are you serious right now?
Absolutely.
You understand what this is and what this represents, but it's in our face. It's they don't care.
Yep. And we also have a culture too that has been almost desensitized to a spiritual realm.
Yep.
And so you can put up any statue you want to, and it's like, that don't bother me. It's nothing but a statue. And at the end of the day, the statue itself may sit there until it falls over from a storm.
Yeah.
But it's the things that it represents.
Yes,
and just like
the symbolism.
for those of us that are Christian, and we know that God is able to move spiritually for us and in spiritual situations, but he can manifest physically.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, he can whisper that still small voice. He can send the wind. He can send the rain. He can shut up, open the seas, close the seas.
Right.
We know that he can do physical things. And just because we have that connection to Yahweh, who operates within the spiritual realm and the creator of the physical realm, the real creator. But we've got people that or things that were once a part of, his domain that have fallen, and they have rights in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. And they can be summoned into the physical realm and acted upon But again, to a desensitized culture, that's why we're called crazy and lunatics.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
And
It's
tinfoil hats.
It's almost like the agenda was to make it sound like anything spiritual. Oh, you're crazy. You're looking too much into stuff. I'm sorry, but what's the Bible say? Our battle is not in the flesh and blood.
That's right.
It is against principalities
and powers.
Hello.
Spiritual wickedness in high places.
That's exactly right.
So to go right along with what you guys are saying, basically the way the world is set up is you can't give any praise to the big G God. But these little G gods,
that's the one.
Let him have it.
All day long.
Yeah.
That's the one.
All day long.
It's fine if you say something about them, but if you say something about Jehovah,
yes, that's
you
right.
say something about Yahweh,
it's over with.
Yahweh,
That's right. We don't want to hear that.
And here's the thing too, going back to like y'all said, this being the male version. And by the way, I've never watched Indiana Jones, so
man,
but I do know
movie night.
We've got to help
Shiva.
this guy.
So, but.
Make sure you cut that part out. We're gonna lose some viewers.
right there, just because he ain't never watched Indiana Jones.
But you won't name many war movies I've never watched.
That's right.
But
The Quick and the Dead.
the both versions, the male side and the female side, things like that. If you go to the 7 letters or the letters to the 7 churches in Revelation, a lot of those churches were guilty of mingling with people that worship false gods and pagans that had hermaphrodite rituals where transgenderism was a common thing.
That's right.
For instance, the same false gods that they continuously fail would just change their name a little bit,
That's
or
right.
or put this little statue up and change it a little bit so it throws people off,
Yes.
or put it in a movie that everybody wants to watch and will accept it and call it
That's right.
good.
That's right.
And we see that every day. And I'll be honest with you, and this is like obviously isn't the pig, but like you said, I've never been a movie watcher because of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I'm watching
That's
to the
exactly
point
right.
where like,
That's exactly
is this
right.
just in fun? Or is it? What's the difference in
Is
me
this thing implanting
I've
something
never
in
played
me?
with a Ouija board either, and so
Absolutely.
there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, and honestly, the desensitizing is what is happening, and I think that's why movies are so prominent, especially in our generation and the next generation now. They're so prominent and because it's really telling us like, hey, oh, it's okay about witchcraft. It's okay about believing in crystals and genies, and all. That's okay. Well, it's not. It's
No, it's
actually
not.
it's the exact opposite.
That's right.
And what it's done is desensitize us to the spiritual realm, and it's made us, like we were saying a second ago, you're made fun of if you get too far in. Now you can go on the witch side. You can dress up like a witch all you want and do this and do that and cast spells, quote unquote.
yeah.
But if you start doing it in Jehovah's side, the God side, hold up now, that you're going too far.
That's right.
Isn't it funny how the enemy? Anyway, let's get to that. 'Cause
you said
we could preach on this one.
Yes.
Now.
You said a mouthful there because it just goes to show you can look at today and I've had a personal experience with it that this just in the last couple of months, but you see stuff that people do that like, man, this really don't line up, and then you start talking about it, and I'm not going to call any specific time of the year out, but like the statement made to us was like, I don't want to lose the magic of the season.
Yeah.
Like,
You say that again.
You just said the word magic.
Say it really slow.
And yet you still say that this is for God.
Right.
This is for Yahweh.
Right.
It's the magic of God. Like Yahweh.
My goodness.
He's above magic. I can tell you, it's real deal.
That's good. Yes. Yes.
Definitely.
So one of the things, especially with the CERN stuff. So the conspiracy with CERN. I don't know why I can't talk now.
You're good.
It's the coffee, brother. It's the coffee. Part of the conspiracy with CERN is that while they're colliding particles, they're actually trying to open portals.
Yeah.
Which honestly, as a believer in the supernatural, I mean, I've experienced the supernatural from the good, hallelujah, praise God, and the bad.
Yes, sir.
So I know supernatural stuff happens.
Absolutely.
I know the rulers of this world, the Bible tells me, which I fully believe, the rulers of this world are wicked.
That's exactly right.
I know that. So you got wicked rulers and you got supernatural stuff. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize these dudes are going to try to, join the
try
two.
to bring it up front.
Yes. So having said that, basically, we've been hitting all around at this spiritual realm tonight. I think that's, really what these entities, whether it's those spaceships or whatever, those, because I don't think anyone, unless it's these weird government dudes, have ever seen something like the Millennial Falcon where it's tangible. But I know plenty of people. I mean, I've seen crazy lights in the sky. I can't explain. Plenty of people have seen that. So I think that sometimes could be in these entities. If they're aliens or whatever, I think it could be really just for whatever reason at that moment, that spiritual realm and the physical realm get thin.
They overlap.
That barrier gets thin, and you can kind of see through the veil just a little bit.
Enough, yeah.
To realize, whoa.
One of the other things that, and I know we didn't share this, I don't think I sent you this video. There was another video that I found about CERN, and they were actually showing, and it was somebody that was hidden recording this. There was blood sacrifices that were taking place in front of the statue.
I know the one you're talking about.
And I love you, whether you believe in spirituality or not, it's there. It's true, every bit of it. And all that does is that opens things, period. And the blood sacrifices, it's opening stuff.
That's
and
right.
for CERN to be the portals and all that kind of stuff, it makes sense when you go back to the biblical stuff.
That's right.
And I know we're about to jump into it, but I want to make sure it's understood there is demonic stuff that's taking place in the midst of all this.
Yeah.
Man, it just hit me. I think what those dudes are doing, God, because we're about to look at, something, the next clip's going to be something biblical. God gives his prophets these visions,
Yes, sir.
into the spiritual,
Absolutely.
but it's God given. He's like, here, let me remove the veil for you for a minute. I want to show you something.
Think about when the prophet said, "Clear his eyes so he
Yes,
can see."
that's
And
right.
he's seen
Yes,
thousands
everything.
of
So what
horses
these
and-
dudes are doing is they're trying to accomplish that, but outside of God's
Yes,
will.
that's right.
And because they're trying to do it outside of God's will, there's like these dudes are, hey,
Yep.
yeah, come here, buddy.
Yeah.
I got something to show you.
Yeah.
And that's what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, and of course, whatever those things are, the Nephilim, the Nakash, whatever
Whatever you want to call them.
yeah, the aliens, whatever. There's this barrier they want to get past.
Yeah.
So while they're trying to pull people
They're
in,
luring you.
yes, they're trying to like claw their way out too by any means
And
necessary.
isn't it crazy that, and this could just be a coincidence, but isn't it crazy that these people that seen these things see these walking lizard reptile-looking things, and
Boy,
it reminds me a lot of a Sunday school
You're cooking right
lesson
now.
of a walking serpent, and so.
That's right.
But again.
That's on the next.
Yeah, we're not going to get that
That's
far.
part two.
That's part two.
But it was mentioned.
Part two.
It was mentioned about them looking like lizards earlier, or snaky, or whatever it was.
right.
But on the thing about it is the the whole part of where we're heading is, it's not that we're sitting here thinking that ET's just coming and we're trying to figure out a way to get him back to his home ship.
No.
I don't think anybody in here is defending that, or think. And there's people out there. I mean, I honestly believe that there's just another world of alien green people out there that's got their own Dollar Generals and things like that.
They're your buddies.
They're your buddies.
You know there's Dollar General there.
I do believe there's truth to the other realm.
Yeah.
You better
And
believe it.
I believe the sightings, whether, and I'm sure there's plenty of false sightings out there. I know that a lot of UFO sightings are UFOs. They're unidentified
Yeah,
flying objects,
absolutely.
but they have nothing to do with the spiritual realm.
Right.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, do you know how many times drones flew before it became national knowledge that military was using
That's right.
drones?
That's right.
People didn't know what they were. There was
no
lights
clue.
with no sounds.
That's
It was,
right.
and so, there's physical stuff that's made by physical people that has no connection to the spiritual realm. But there's your proof
That's right.
that there's things that we don't know about
Right.
that are out there
That's right.
in the physical. And I promise you, there's things out there that we don't know about in the spiritual.
Oh, definitely.
So let's set up this next clip. Speaking of the spiritual realm and looking at when God opened it up for one of his prophets to see into the spiritual. So this is going to be from Ezekiel chapter 1. But here's what's crazy though, is that this clip is geared towards, it's from a website that like tried to connect this vision that Ezekiel had with the cherubim and the wheels, connect that to aliens. So it's kind of a creepy video. So y'all check it out.
I looked, and I saw a windstorm coming out of the north, an immense cloud with flashing lightning and surrounded by brilliant light. The center of the fire looked like glowing metal, and in the fire was what looked like 4 living creatures. In appearance, their form was human, but each of them had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight. Their feet were like those of a calf and gleamed like burnished bronze. Under their wings on their 4 sides, they had human hands. All 4 of them had faces and wings, and the wings of one touched the wings of another. Each one went straight ahead. They did not turn as they moved. As I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its 4 faces. This was the appearance and structure of the wheels. They sparkled like topaz, and all 4 looked alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel intersecting a wheel. As they moved, they would go in any one of the 4 directions the creatures faced. The wheels did not change direction as the creatures went. Their rims were high and awesome, and all 4 rims were full of eyes all around. Spread out above the heads of the living creatures was what looked something like a vault, sparkling like crystal, and awesome.
I got some cool stuff that I learned about this, but I want you guys to Go ahead. What's y'all's take on this biblical passage? Because this isn't the first time I've heard it connected to aliens and spaceships.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, anytime you talk to some ancient astronaut theorist that watches too much History Channel, they're gonna hit you with Ezekiel chapter 1. Aliens. The aliens did it, man. So what do y'all
I will say, and I know this is jumping to the next episode, but ain't it funny how they always picture the alien looking the exact same way with the big eyes?
Yes.
Man, and it kind of looks like a lizard. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
does.
anyway,
Absolutely.
but no, I'm not gonna lie. I've studied this before. I've looked into this before. I've actually taught this in the youth before. Just talking about some of the things that's with this, and I've always thought it was just a fascinating story, and I love diving into it because when you look in their eyes of how they see things, and then you look in the eyes of what's now, like with the eyes, when he said there was eyes all over it, that's lights. There's lights all over it. There's something shiny all over it where it looks like it's looking back at you. So I could understand how they could tie this to UFOs and all that kind of stuff. But it's just like the winged beast that made this roar and everything else. And when we look at it and modernize it now, it's a helicopter that we're talking about. So I like looking at that kind of stuff. I think it's fascinating. So.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's like you were saying, you read Revelation and you got a dude on the island of Patmos that's been tried to be murdered, and then he's put out here to go crazy, and now he's getting this revelation of Christ, and throughout this he's seeing stuff that's never been seen in the world. He's seeing stuff that's never been invented. He's seeing stuff still to come. And how do you explain something that, like if you woke up, had a dream and you had to get up and explain it, and in your dream you seen, saucers with salt shakers, and all you're going to be able to use is words that make sense to you, and you're going to explain it the best way you can. But then 1,000 years down the road, when people actually see it, it wasn't a salt shaker. It was a futuristic thing that hadn't been invented yet.
Well, I mean, and it's
a cell phone.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's like the other day. I say the other day. It's been a little while back, but I remember as an electrician, I have tools. I have a lot of different tools, and I've sent one of my kids out there to get something, and I told them what it was. I said, "Hey, go out there and get my meter." And they had no idea what it was. They go out there and they're describing all this stuff to me, like, is it this? And it's a pair of pliers. And I'm like, no, it's a meter. And they go back out there and they come back and they got all these. And finally I said, all right, it's got a clamp on the top and it's got 2 wires that come out the bottom. And they go out there, they grab it, they come back, and they were like, man, I thought this was like something completely different. And it just, to me, that's like a biblical, like, man, some of the patterns that they're saying, just because you don't have knowledge of it and you don't understand it, they're looking at it like this, and we know what it is, but they have no clue what it is.
That's right.
It's kind of like sending your wife to the to the gas station or to Walmart and say, hey, I need oil for my truck, and it needs to be 508 20 5W20. And she just standing there before this big giant wall of nothing but oil, and she has no idea what to grab because she's never been there. So
that's right.
I mean, think about the prophecy of Christ being crucified on a cross. People couldn't fathom, like, how's he going down a cross?
For real.
That wasn't a punishment for him. That shouldn't have been a punishment for him. And yet it was told it was going to happen, and that's what happened. And so, but people couldn't recognize it happening. People couldn't recognize what was coming because, there's no way. It can't be like this. It don't line up. It don't line up like him down on a cross. I mean, we don't even give that kind of punishment out like that. And so, but yet it was said it was going to happen. So, a lot of times things are discounted because it's not our ordinary. It's not the way we would do it.
Fit the narrative.
Not the way we would have said it. And so we immediately erase it. And reality, we may be erasing something that we need to keep and see and read. So,
man, you are touching on all kind of stuff with that. It has nothing to do with this topic. But you were touching on some good stuff right there. We erasing stuff that we might need. I'm glad that don't happen in the church.
Oh, that's right.
What you talking about, Willis?
All right, so here's what I learned about some of
your
this.
Pants is cool. He about dumped his water in his lap.
I spit it on my mic.
That would have been great. So If y'all want, you can go to our website, breakingthebread.com, and we actually have a study that goes over Ezekiel chapter 1, and it talks about those cherubim, those creatures, those 4 living creatures, and what each face actually meant. Like it was, you got to remember, Ezekiel was having a vision. This is not like reality he was seeing. This is a prophetic vision. So it was all symbolic.
Right. Yep.
It was all symbols, you know. So those creatures, those 4 living creatures were symbolic, and each face was symbolic too. And one of the things that I learned is those wheels. The wheels within wheels that it describes, it had, you know, he saw them and they had these eyes all around them.
Yeah.
And those things move wherever the cherubim moved, those things moved. When the cherubim touched down, those things touched on the ground too. Well, those wheels are called the orphanum. The orphanum. And what they actually are is crazy, is it actually is symbolic of time. The wheels of time. And those eyes around it, those shining lights, those are the constellations
twisting,
moving, because that's how God keeps time. He tells us in his word, the stars are there to keep time. The sun and the moon and the stars are a giant clock. It's a wheel of time, and a wheel of time, and a wheel of time. It's centuries and years and months and days and minutes and hours and seconds, milliseconds, little all the way to big. And so these things, those cherubim, if you study cherubim, they're actually God's guardian throne guardians. Right. That's what they do. They guard the throne of God. I mean, they are there. Like, if God puts them in front, they're the ones that are in front of the Garden of Eden with the flaming sword.
You don't mess with them things.
But what they represent is God's authority and his power. So he's the one that rules time. He's the one that runs even in. When Ezekiel wrote this is right after Babylon had been taken into captivity. Like Nebuchadnezzar had shown up, beat Israel down, and Babylon had taken Israel into captivity, like slayed a bunch of folks. You know, that's when Daniel went in and all. And so Ezekiel, he didn't get caught up, but he was able to see what happened to Israel. He was like, man, this is terrible. God, how could you allow this to happen? And you know, you can look at the same event from Jeremiah, because Jeremiah wrote about the same thing, and that's why he's called the weeping prophet. You know, he got all emotional about it, but Ezekiel's like, dude, Lord, why does it happen? And so God's showing him, basically, I'm the one in control. I control time. I control power. You just sit there and record. I got this. This is happening for a reason. So I thought that was phenomenal to see those wheels, not as literal wheels, not as spaceships, but as time. And these constellations. Like, whoa.
And it makes me think of the old sailors and the pirates and all that kind of stuff. They used to look at the constellations for direction, but they also looked at it for time too.
Absolutely.
They had time charts and time maps off of it.
The summer solstice, the winter solstice, the equinoxes.
That's how we know.
The vernal and autumn equinoxes. It's time.
So they didn't have a calendar back then?
They had a calendar in the sky. That's right.
I want to just stick this thing in reverse right quick before we close out, because something just came to me when I was thinking about that video.
In the sky, keep on turning.
There you go, journey.
Yeah, now I figured it out.
Take a journey in time.
Oh, wait, no, we can't do that. We ain't got copyright for that. You heard nothing.
You saw the disclaimer.
It was Prison Mike.
Yeah, it was Prison Mike.
But, so, I know, like, for instance, there's these little whistles you can get for your car. When you're driving down the road.
Oh, yeah, for the
and
deer.
you can't hear it.
Yeah, for the deer.
But, you know, in animals, senses are different than ours. So one that might be horrible at vision, his senses are heightened in other stuff and, you know, things like that. Well, I know that, like, you ever notice, like, your dog standing there with you and it's a wide open yard and that joker's like, and you're just sitting there like, shut up. Like, and all of a sudden, you start getting this little eerie feeling like, you see something?
What is going on?
And dude, it made me think, because you was talking about the guardians and the ones guarding the angels. I mean, guarding the garden. And I remember Balaam heading up the mountainside, and his donkey sees this angel, sword drawn.
Yes, the angel of the
And
Lord.
he's like,
Balaam can't see it, but that angel was visiting to physically reach into the physical and kill Balaam.
That's right.
And
That's
the donkey
right.
seen it.
That's right.
And it's like, so I just wondered, like, these people getting glimpses and they can't keep their eyes on it because they're not supposed to be able to see it, but they're getting a glimpse because something's done crossed over and it's glitching.
Yes.
And so,
oh man,
it's like, dude, like so much of that just kind of just poured into me when you started talking about the angel's garden. I was like, first thing I thought about is that angel standing there, and that is that wasn't a vision. That was a literal story in Scripture.
Happened. And he couldn't see it at first. Remember, the angel had to make him see. Like, hey, bro, you see me here now?
Because he's beating his donkey. Doesn't know what's going on, and God let him see.
Poor old donkey.
He's like, no, bro, you don't see it.
Yeah, or like the story you brought up. Now thinking about it like that, so the one that was connected to Yahweh, in a tight sense, was able to see, and he wasn't afraid. They're like, Master, why aren't you afraid? And he says, Lord, open his eyes and let him
so
see.
he can see.
And he opened his eyes, and boom, what was there the whole time?
That's right.
Like that dog was probably going,
That's right.
Because something's there, you just couldn't see it.
You just can't see it.
So again, that unidentified flying object, that spiritual UFO,
Yes.
And just
That's good stuff.
It's interesting of how much animals have to do with spirituality too.
Yes.
Because even think about Legion.
Yes.
And the pigs.
Yeah.
It is so, and it drove them insane enough to, I think we just talked about this too. That's what's so funny. But it drove them insane, and they, of course, went off the side of the cliff. Man, it's just so, you talk about rabbit trails now. There's rabbit holes, but there's rabbit trails for this stuff too.
That's right.
Man,
I think we might be in Universe 25. With rats. I mean, they're everywhere.
They are everywhere. Yes. Old Prison Mike got his whole family up in here, man.
Gosh, man.
So that was definitely part one. We got to do a part two because we definitely want to talk about the lizard people.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever heard of Planet X or Nibiru, and then the other one was the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
The Anunnaki. Yes.
Which are, anyway. And I will give this a little spoiler. Ain't it funny that when you study any old religion or any old civilization, almost every hieroglyphic they got, almost every picture they got, they have a picture of a dragon, but they also have a picture of these lizard people.
That's right.
It is insane how many of them have. And listen, most of them ain't connected. Like, there was stuff that happened in Egypt and South America.
Yes.
There was, it's all over.
And, seeing 8 foot tall people is not something that's just some pothead came up with.
No.
I'm pretty sure that there's a story in the Bible where the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair. And they produced giants.
Yeah.
There is indeed.
How do you get giants from two original people?
How does that happen?
I know there's a sect out there that's going to say, well, that's Cain's lineage, but why did aliens? I mean, why did aliens? Why did
I mean, in a sense,
why did if it was Cain's lineage? Why did just one day after the story pop? I mean, giants start popping
everywhere.
That's right.
That's
right.
All over too.
Exactly
Well, look, we ain't trying to get in the episode 2 right now. We'll get there. That's just a really good spoiler. So
that's right.
But there's a lot to talk about in these two. But we hope you enjoyed. We hope you got something out of it. If you got any comments, questions, definitely hit them down there below. Make sure to like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff.
Send your complaints to
Prison Mike. Yeah, and tell us if you've been enjoying the promos and all that kind of stuff. Because we like to do them. They're funny. They're fun, and they're fun. Especially when people get hit with snack cakes.
Yeah, look, in case y'all didn't know, the last promo, Josh hit me dead in the chest with a little Debbie. I just want to let y'all know.
Twice.
Dead in the chest. Little Debbie.
And remember, on YouTube, we're trying to get to 100 right now, subscribers and all that kind of stuff. And when we get to that, we're gonna do a random draw and give out a gift box, pretty much.
Yes.
So help if you can, get us on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So
share, like, all that good stuff.
Yes. So, well, y'all, it's been real. It's been fun.
It has.
We've been 3 Not So Wise Men.